So I'm going to offer light-skinned girls a perspective that they have never considered. Because for the longest in the Black community, we fall for rage bait and we focus on negativity and those that don't want us, and we don't pay attention to the ones that do, right? So in our heads, we think that every man walking the earth loves light-skinned women when that's not the case. So this person came in the comment section to tell dark-skinned Black women that men don't want them because she's fair-skinned and mixed, and that's what men tell her, right? But what she doesn't consider is, let's consider the other perspective, that actually happens the other way around. Let me explain. So I am a chocolate dark-skinned woman, right? Men oftentimes will come up to me too and bash light-skinned girls. Yes. But see, we don't talk about that because dark-skinned girls are over there crying on colorism channels, playing the victim, and not focusing on the ones that want them. And they allow light-skinned women to back up their victim narrative with comments like these. She said, "I am a very fair-skinned mixed-race woman, and I've had multiple Black men tell me that they don't like Black or dark-skinned women." And I'm going to stop you right there, okay? It happens the other way around. As a chocolate sister, I attract men that are extremely into dark-skinned women. Yes, there's plenty of them around. Yes. And oftentimes the ignorant ones will do the same exact thing. They have all types of names to call light-skinned women. They express their disdain for light-skinned women. They compare you guys to unattractive foods such as, I'm not going to repeat all of it. I'm not going to repeat it, okay? I should, because you guys are always repeating what men are telling you guys. But see, the reason why this happens is because, just think about it real quick. That's your perspective. You're light-skinned. So why would a man come up to a light-skinned girl and bash light-skinned girls? That doesn't make sense. But if you put yourself in a chocolate woman's shoes, you'll then realize the same thing is happening. I don't know, maybe it's just a weird thing that men do where it's like they think that they are putting you on a pedestal if they bash the opposite of what you are. But I've had several men do the same thing to me. So, okay, thank you for sharing your story. So this is my story. They are bashing you guys too. I mean, I've heard women roll with these absolute all or nothing narratives since the beginning of time. I've heard Mexican women say, oh, well, Black men, they talk mess about Black women. That happens to every group of women. I know this commenter said that she was mixed and men tend to bash Black women. The other day, I had a man doing the same thing to me, my Black self, about mixed race women. He was bashing mixed race women. When are you guys going to realize nobody is the preference, right? They do that to all groups of women. So white women have that same story of men bashing the opposite of what they are. You have that same story. I have that same story. Latinas have that same story. They come to me and bash all of the races that I just named. Yes. I've heard men come up to me and bash white women. I've heard men come up to me and bash mixed women. I've heard men come up to me and bash Latina women. They be talking out the side of their neck about you guys, to be honest. So what is your point? Whenever I see women come out with this, guys, I have factual data and men have told me that they don't like the opposite of what I am. Yeah, they're trying to get some coochie. And I don't even talk like that, so excuse my language, but my God, guys, that's happening to every group of women. It's not just you, Buki. I remember when I was in school, it was a Mexican girl. I live in California, so we have a lot of Mexicans. It was a Mexican girl saying that same thing. She would tell us how a Black boy told her that he didn't like Black women. She basically came with the same attitude as this commenter on the screen, right? But she didn't even realize that they were talking crazy about her race to me, saying they're shaped like burritos and all types of things that I can't repeat. That's what guys do. If you're skinny, they're going to go bash big girls. If you're big, they'll bash skinny girls. Okay, that's what they do. You don't really sound like you are up on game about men. Men will bash whatever the opposite is that you are to get some cat. That's the game, babe. Step out of your perspective, then you'll realize everyone has that same story that you're trying to promote on my channel. Light-skinned girls get on my nerves when they do this. A lot of them do this. Men are always telling me they don't like dark-skinned girls. What is your point? It happens both ways. So I don't like your little discouraging tactic, okay? You're speaking from your perspective, so I'm telling you my perspective. And before a dark-skinned woman comes in the comment section and says, well, that's never happened to me. Okay, first look in the mirror and ask yourself these 3 things. Do you have an attractive personality? Are you pretty? And are you in shape? Because if you are those 3 things, then yes, that does happen to those types of dark-skinned women. Like when you guys say this, I don't be getting it. I don't understand. Yes, there are men that prefer light-skinned women. Absolutely. And there are men that prefer dark-skinned women. So what is the argument here? So if you were trying to come into my comment section to say that, well, I'm debunking that, okay? It's just that we have rolled with that narrative for the longest. Like I've already unpacked why that narrative is what it is in the Black community. I've said this over and over and over. Number 1, people like you who take the microphone. Number 2, the crybabies on the colorism channels that are dedicated to their perception of victimhood. And number 3, you just don't focus on positivity and ones that want you. So this is how we come up with those narratives. But I would like to debunk that. No, you're not everyone's preference. You're not. I didn't want to have to do a video like this, but I think this is my pet peeve that light-skinned women do. You're always going out of your way to tell dark-skinned women that people don't want them. How do you know that? Are you a dark-skinned woman? You're not. Okay. So hopefully I was able to offer you a different perspective that your little comment is not special. It's happening the other way too. So bad to the point where I can't even repeat the things that have been said about lighter skinned girls. But that's fine. There's not one person that is everyone's preference. I know that Black women for the longest have thought those things, but that's not the case. Different strokes for different folks. All right. Hopefully we can hang up this conversation. I truly am tired of talking about this. I do want to move on to other stuff. Most Black women or dark-skinned Black women don't even realize that it's happening the other way around because they're too busy focusing on the ones that don't want them. But technically, everyone on this earth can do that if they wanted to, if they chose to. It's your perspective. Light-skinned girls can do the same exact thing dark-skinned girls are doing. Oh, nobody wants light-skinned girls, but that's the thing with light-skinned girls. They don't focus on those men that come up to me and bash them. They're not focused on those types of men, like how dark-skinned women are. Do you see what I'm trying to say here? Your perception is your reality. Dark-skinned women have chose that reality that nobody wants them. Light-skinned women have not subscribed to that reality. So therefore, it seems like everyone wants them because they're not the victims. Does that make sense? Can you guys just really sit and analyze this? Like, I'm gonna need you to use your brain cells just a little bit. You have to really think about the layers to the why situations are the way they are. And a lot of this honestly comes from slave days, to be honest. So yeah.